Hello, Teacher Max here again. I am excited today to share some more English knowledge with you. We will be working on the ability to understand and comprehend a listening story and then answering the questions. Now, I don't know about you, but I am very excited to begin. Please listen carefully. At the end of the video, you can press pause, then fill in the questions or answer the questions, and then we will compare to see how well your listening skills are developed. Now, we are not speaking about any story. If you've watched the previous videos, we are speaking about folk tales. They are short stories which grandma or grandpa has passed down to the family. Over the years, the stories can change with a little bit of different aspects, but today we will be speaking about another fable. As you can see, a folk tale has numerous of different types of stories, from fairy tales to legends, tall tales, and myths. Now, our fable today teaches us a very important lesson. We are speaking about the Cunning Cat. I will show you some pictures or photos. If you don't want to look at them, that's fine, but I find it more interesting when conveying a story. I hope you're ready. Let's begin. Not so long ago, in a gorgeous garden with tall towering trees and fresh herbs, there lived numerous of small animals. All the animals in the garden knew of their others' existence, and some were more friendly than others. With this being said, many animals were aware of the cat that lurked in the garden. He wasn't a bad cat, but the smaller animals were terrified of Shadow. Shadow would roam in and out of the house, and when the smaller animals, like the field mice or the insects, saw him coming, they would scurry away, hiding from his vicious, sharp claws and sharp eyes that missed nothing in the garden. Shadow knew that the trees in the garden were particularly tall, and although he had climbed them on many occasions, there was one tree recently that had interested him quite a bit, because when he ventured outside, he heard the sounds which enticed him of baby chicks. Chip, 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 chip. Shadow would sit in the bushes and lurk, staring at the small birds, thinking delicious thoughts, craving to eat them. However, the mother bird had meticulously built her nest on branches that were a bit tricky to reach. But Shadow knew with patience he could climb up and catch the birds if he wanted to. The small problem was that the mother bird was quite volatile. So when Shadow approached the tree, she would swoop down and make such a noise it would lure other animals to take a peek at what was going on in the garden. One day, Shadow had a marvelous idea, or so he thought. He sat watching this tree, pondering ways what he can think of to catch the small birds. The mother bird would sit on the branch and swoop down, catching insects, and fly up quickly, feeding her young chicks. Now, Shadow knew the mother's instincts of the mother bird were to feed the young chicks and get them strong and big so they could fly away and start living lives of their own. But Shadow would sit there, meow, meow, and clean himself. And he knew that the mother bird's weak spot was raising her young. So one day he strolled out of the bush and he said, meow, sorry to bother you, meow, but I've noticed there are some delicious insects by that nearby tree on the other side of the street. Now naturally the bird was on guard and she peered at him. She wanted to be in disbelief, but when the young birds heard, oh, food, 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 they were chirping, beep, 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 food, beep, beep. When Shadow saw this, he devised a cunning plan and knew that the younger chicks loved worms. All the birds loved worms, do they not? So, he had to tell them about the worms. By the way, there are some worms. I saw them crawling all over that tree. Beep, beep, beep. The young birds were making such a racket, the mother bird naturally followed her instincts and decided she was not going to leave them alone for long, but she wanted to get the worms. Be careful, my young ones, be careful. Listen and be alert. Don't trust anyone. And off mother bird flew. But as she flew, she turned around just to make sure that the cat had indeed walked away. And that's what Shadow did. He made a big show of prancing away so the mother bird would think that the chicks were safe. And as Shadow crawled away, he waited a few seconds longer and he knew that this was the time that he had to climb the tree and catch the young birds for a snack. However, the young birds were not oblivious to the danger, as mother had warned them. They had seen the cat lurking in the garden day after day, catching small rodents and insects. And all of a sudden, the garden became dead quiet. There wasn't a sound in the garden. But the chicks heard a noise. Nothing breathed, nothing stirred. Even the wind blowing through the leaves seemed to die down. Everything was scared. The chicks instantly realized the sound they heard or were hearing must be from Shadow the cat climbing up the tree. Beep, 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 beep. Immediately they started screeching as loud as they could, hoping their mother would hear them. Shadow knew the mother bird had a very sharp beak and would not hesitate to attack him. So as he heard her screeching, flying home, he hurriedly jumped down and ran away into the undergrowth. Luckily, the mother bird had found some worms nearby, and she fed the young, knowing that this might have been a ploy and that the cat was not as trustworthy as he wanted to appear. So, as the time went by and the days went by, the young chicks grew up. And soon they started to flap their wings, spread their wings, and the mother bird decided to move the nest to a higher branch because this cat was just becoming too bold. Again, he tried once to climb up. Weeks later, and as he got close to the nest, the young birds opened their wings and they flew from one branch to the next higher, so Shadow couldn't catch them. And to Shadow's amazement, the branch that he was very dangerously balancing on cracked and he fell. Thankfully, like all cats do, on his paws. But then the mother bird had enough. She told him that she had, because now Shadow was confused. He couldn't believe that the chicks were flying at this point. He couldn't believe that the days had gone so quickly and those young chicks had wings that were strong enough to carry them away. The mother bird chirped, knowing that her chicks were safe. I have been waiting so many months for my young ones to grow strong. My patience has been rewarded. You will never ever catch them. Today we are flying away. And with that, Mother Bird took her chicks and she flew into the sky and they flew away. Unfortunately, Shadow the cat was left hungry, thinking of those delicious birds. But he did learn a very important lesson. After a long time of trying to catch the birds, did he succeed? No, he didn't succeed. So, when a person is trying to be cunning, or if you're willing to do something wrong in order to succeed, you will not be successful in life. If you work hard, hard work pays off. Do the right thing. The moral of the story is not trying to be deceptive or trying to be cunning. We have to succeed by doing the right thing. Now, I really enjoy this story because it's one of my favorites. I think it's very funny because my parents have cats and I've seen them trying to stalk birds in the garden. But sometimes they can never catch them. The birds are just too fast. So for today, the questions, there are 5 questions you will be reading. Then you can press pause and try to answer the questions out loud, or you can write them down and compare them to my questions. Let's read number 1, please. What does it mean to be cunning? Give me your definition of cunning, please. What is an example of being cunning? Write a sentence or say a sentence out loud what you think an example is using the word cunning in your sentence, please. Question number 3. How did Shadow the cat lure the bird away? How did she get the mother bird to fly away from her chicks? Question number 4. What were the instincts of the young birds? Did the chicks know they were in trouble when mother wasn't there? And why? Now, question number 5, the most important question. What is the moral of this story? Please take a few minutes, as long as you want. Never rush your answers. I don't think you'd need more than 5 minutes. Then you can press play and we will resume and compare our answers. Please press pause now. Okay, if you just press play, welcome back to the Cunning Cat. We are going to compare your answers to my answers, please. Let's have a look. Number 1, what is the definition of cunning? What does the word cunning mean? When you are cunning, you can be clever, but in a sly or devious way. The word has a bad connotation, which means it's not related to something good. If you say your friend is cunning, it's not a good trait, not a good characteristic to have. Number 2, give me a sentence An example of the word cunning. My example, the boy was cunning because when his teacher asked him to see his completed homework, he instead showed the teacher his friend's homework because he had not completed his own homework. Oh no! I hope that you have not done this. What a cunning boy, giving the teacher the wrong homework to check. Number 3. How did Shadow the cat lure the bird away? How did he get the bird to leave? The cat Shadow enticed the mother bird and told her of the delicious worms and insects she could find for the chicks. Entice, it means he made it sound so good she had to leave. Like Teacher Max, I am enticed by ice cream. If you mention ice cream, I will leave right now and go find the shop, the ice cream shop. Question number 4. What were the instincts of the young birds? Did the chicks know they were in trouble and why? The chicks knew they were in trouble when the other animals darted away and the garden was silent. They realized the cat must be climbing the tree when they heard the claw marks. What is the moral of our story? If a person is cunning or willing to do things the wrong way, in order to succeed, you will not always be successful in life. Hard work pays off. I really believe in that. I believe if you work hard on your English, watch all these videos and more videos and more videos, and do some reading, we can definitely improve our English skills and abilities. I hope you enjoyed this video today as much as I enjoyed presenting it to you. Please stay tuned. There are so many more English videos you can watch and learn from. I will see you soon. Goodbye and thank you.